Hello again, everyone. Welcome. I was reflecting on something like how much all this illness in so many ways physical, mental, social, whatever, right? It's all costing us, okay, in terms of our money and our energy and our vitality, whatever, right? How is it costing us? Come to think of it, we see it right in front of our eyes. Somebody in joint pain, somebody is in um, not able to walk because of the joints or whatever uh, pains they have, cardiac pains and all. How much this is all costing? I was kind of wanted to a meta-analysis on what are the studies, what are the reports that are given to us that have all this put together, the numbers. So I came up with some research and then I came up with some statistics that is telling me what is our cost, hidden cost in terms of our health when you have this culture of outer accumulation, going out and getting things and thinking that they will help us to be healthy. Is that true? We need the money to pay the insurance premium. Yeah. We need the money to go take a tech cab and go to the hospital. Yeah. We need the money to pay the insurance companies. So they make us invent ways to pay us more and more out of pocket, right? So that is that. We need money for our needs, but beyond that, if that takes the entire occupation of our time and energy and whatever resources we have, then we are losing out a lot. Okay, so I said accumulation, not getting for the needs. Accumulation for what? For the future security, for so-called satisfaction egoistically, or whatever reason we do that especially in America, you take anything, they say, oh, you'll make so many thousands of dollars if you do this. Revenue based, everything, accumulation of revenue, whether you need it or not. How come there are only 4 or 6 people controlling the 90% of our wealth? How come we, at the base level, many people are suffering even for, you know, just running the household, sending the kids to the school, or retiring comfortably. Uh, any of that, okay, that's not there. So basically materialistic, outer bound, accumulative cultures we are promoting, not in just in the United States but around the world. India also, if you take it, they may have great philosophies, they may have very big systems, yoga and other things, but they are equally commercial, equally materialistic, equal, maybe sometimes the worst, because they have forgotten who they are, right? So, modern India, I don't have any patience. But ancient India, I look to everything. Okay, so but basically human beings have become the same everywhere, right? Right. So the question becomes more like somebody who is always telling people be proactive about your health and wellness, prevent things, and be well for a long time, and really enjoy your life. That kind of things. That's my real wish, that people live longer, people live well for long, and also they kind of enjoy their life. It's as simple as that. Okay. So, as a physician, as a yoga person, as a wellness enthusiast and a promoter, I kind of wanted to give people what's going on in terms of our accumulation versus inner abundance. I always valued the riches of inner, how I feel, how I, uh, you know, optimistic, energetic, and reaching out to people, and feeling really good about doing stuff to people, like helping them, just. sharing my knowledge or sharing my experience, whatever, right? So I feel good by giving, but from the inner abundance. That is possible for everybody. That's my point. Okay. Now, if we know how, as societies, as people, in terms of real numbers, so that's why I prepared this talk. And this is going to be very important for people who are stuck in this materialistic, abundant, accumulative, working culture. Okay. So that's why I hope you will really listen to these numbers. I'm not trying to sell anything. I only want you to be aware of the cost that we're doing, and also how can we really get into that attitude where I don't want to pay this much cost. I want to be really be sensible about it. So this is what I was hoping to convey to you with this. I can give you the references of this. Studies we have accumulated, and then you can really see that. See, there is a paradox going on in the modern times. See, we have more unprecedented material wealth, and we have achieved professionally a lot, and we have advanced technologically to a lot of things. And we have plenty of economic opportunities to create livelihood or to get livelihood or to distribute it to everybody. So we have, if you look at the wealth, the achievements, or technology, or opportunities, we have a lot, right? We have more than even 10 years ago, right? But we suffer more, raising chronic illness rates, epidemic levels of anxiety, depression, and widespread burnout. That's something I look at every day, right? And then there is a deep social disconnection. You can't even come up and talk to me here. So I don't know why, because I come with good intentions, and you don't guys don't give any encouragement for that kind of thinking. You don't really help people to realize this, and you say you are conducting the wellness oriented app. So where are you? So we have a lot in terms of all this I described, but we are suffering more too. That deep social disconnection with even our own human beings of the ancients, you are not connected with it. Okay. So at least you don't show interest when I talk about these things. Very few people come and they say, okay, we are interested in this. We want to do this. And that also you do at your own slow pace. Okay. So, but the consequences you want to understand. So this contradiction, having more but suffering more, you see, it is a fundamental truth, right? External success does not guarantee internal well-being. That is an observation I had when I was very, very small. I don't know how, but it was very small. Because the people who are really wandering on the street, don't have any home and all that, they'll be singing songs of wisdom. They will be taking whatever people give them, and they go and sit down and eat, and then they get into deep reflection and attitude of learning these great wisdom books and all that, and then come out next day, sing their own songs made up of that wisdom. Okay. So this contradiction, having more and suffering more, is like a fundamental truth of external success does not guarantee internal well-being, right? So even though we are living in the era of abundance, a tremendous amount of abundance, maybe it is owned by few people, but still that is there. We are experiencing a crisis of meaning and health that demands our attention. So this is the crisis of meaning and health. This crisis demands our attention. I think so. Okay. People live lives very busy, very occupied, but has no meaning. They tell me, oh, I was become a doctor, I achieved so much, I wrote so many things, I kind of treated 10,000 people, I delivered so many thousands of babies, whatever they tell me. But then they also tell me, but I feel empty inside. I don't feel any meaning after all this. That is them telling me. Could be an actor that came to me from a different part of the world, very popular, very accumulated millions of fans, right? And then he's always occupied with them, doing talks and everything, but doesn't have any meaning. Feels empty inside. Feels meaningless. No purpose. Why I'm here? What I'm doing? What is that? They enjoyed relationships, they enjoyed foods, they enjoyed wealth and everything. But they have this nightmare. I think one of the Hollywood actress, she came on the Oscar award night and holding the Oscar in her hand and telling me, well, this all nice, but then doesn't feel fulfilling me. I don't have a marriage. I don't have children. I don't have any meaningful relationship with anybody. But this doesn't feel that. Okay. So I see her face. I don't remember her name. I wish I could tell you. She is a very good actress. She won this, but it's really caught my eye when she was telling that. That's the same I feel in the regular life. People come and then they themselves admit that they had accumulation of a lot of things. They have pursued so many desires. One guy goes around the world eating stuff, having that experience of eating stuff. That's how. And then another guy goes on making vlogs of, around the world and then describing it to us. And then he committed suicide. Okay. So this Robin Williams, a great actor, right? I loved his comedy, he committed suicide. You could not think he's such a humanitarian, such a humorist, such a joyful person in presence, but then inwardly he's so empty, he committed suicide. Robin Williams did that. Okay, so I feel very sad when I see that kind of souls are taken away by us by this fundamental truth. What is it? External success does not carry or guarantee internal well-being. Internal well-being. That's what I value. That's what I think we should be really, paying attention to that, right? So let's look at the outward chase. How is it draining our well-being? What is the evidence? These are all gathered from the studies I've said. I will give it to you. If somebody is interested in them, you can examine yourself. I'm not cooking up this data. Okay. So materialism itself, endless acquisition and comparison. Most of us are involved in that. And overwork. Okay. We sacrifice our health for achievement. That's what I see. People are driven. People are told, oh, go do this, do that, achieve this. And then they can take care of their health at the same time, but they don't have the awareness and then they lose their health. That's the second one. Third one is financial pressures. You have to feed the family, you have to give them shelter, you have to give them education, and you have to save something for your rainy day. All that, right? That those financial pressures are constant worry and insecurity, right? People they feel good if they make a lot of money, and then they go there you go more, right? And then this materialism, overwork, and financial pressures, what they're doing is they have a silent erosion, erosion into your health. Gradual health deterioration is the consequence. So this relentless pursuit of external validation, basically that's what they're seeking, validation, creates a cascade of consequences that quietly undermine our physical and mental health. This pattern operates beneath our awareness, almost normalizing suffering as the price of success. Don't need to. That's what I'm here to tell you. I'm successful, but I did on my own. I had my practice on my own, and I would not compromise for anything, right? And so I was able to do. Probably I was fortunate, you know. So something blessing of the gods, maybe. So, uh, but the thing was, there was never this lust for external success that much. Never. I had it. I did not uh, say that is the only thing. Okay. So that's why I was saved, maybe. You know. See, so like we talked about the motor paradox, where we have a lot, but we suffer a lot. And that is being observed by me when I kind of look at this paradox in terms of why we are so materialistic, why we are overworking, why we are having so many financial pressures work on our mind, you know, and how are they eroding our health? See, that's what I wanted. So there was some study where it's like a comprehensive meta-analysis. Meta-analysis is where we already take the data that happened. Okay, we're not forecasting anything that we're just business of accumulation of 1,000 people pursued this. What happened? That's all. Okay. So this comprehensive meta-analysis of 259 independent studies 259, it revealed a consistent inverse relationship between materialistic values and psychological well-being. Inverse. So the more you're materialistic, the more you're psychologically ill. Okay. So this evidence is unequivocal, and it is quite troubling when you look at it. Okay. Happiness correlation is minus 0.24. Strong negative relationship between materialism and life satisfaction. That is the happiness correlation is minus 0.24. Not even one. Altogether, that studies we analyzed over 259. Okay. What they revealed, there is a lower vitality, reduced energy and just for life, and diminished self-acceptance, persistent dissatisfaction with oneself, and they lost meaning, difficulty finding purpose and significance in life, and also increased loneliness. So this is about weakened social bonds and isolation. Okay? They feel isolated. They don't feel like anybody with them, right? So that's what is happening here. And as you go down, as you look at this analysis of this meta-analysis, you'll find much more. But I'm just giving you a gist of it, you know, not the whole thing. Okay, we study in so many other parameters. There is a book called "Studying a Study and Testing a Test." Its validity, its economic viability. We study in different way. The informaticians, the data specialists, right? So overwork actually is literally deadly. I know one actor who was a very popular actor, broke in 70s. He literally worked himself to death. See, WHO and International Labor Organization, they published findings that actually should alarm everybody, every employer and employee too. So what they did was long working hours. They constitute a significant occupational health risk. That's what they said. 745,000 annual deaths attributed to working 55 plus hours per week. This is from WHO and the International Labor Organization, ILO. And 35% they have increased stroke and other cardiac events from excessive work hours. That is shown. So they took people who had stroke or cardiac event, and then they compared to 100 people who worked very much, who are not that much, that they found 35% increased risk if you overwork. And then in America, they consider it's a kind of virtue to overwork, to beat themselves to death. That's the real, ignorance about the consequences. So 745,000 annual deaths are attributed to working 55 plus work hours per week. If you work more than 55 hours per week and you're doing it constantly, those kind of samples showed 745,000 people died. Okay. And 35% have increased stroke risk. And then 17% have higher heart disease mortality rate. Mortality is the rate where you have the illness and you die from it, right? Morbidity is you survive, but you are sick, you are ill, you don't have the energy. So understand what is mortality rate for those people who don't know. Okay, for the people who don't know about morbidity, I'll come to the morbidity later. So nearly 500 million people globally work in conditions that place them in this danger zone. 500 million around the world. So the normalization of overwork in modern culture, that is the one. They normalize overwork as some virtue. They represent a public health emergency hiding in plain sight. That's why hidden health costs, my title. These are not, people are not paying attention to it. Okay. We pay attention as physicians, as scientists, as epidemiologists, want to know what are we doing, what is helping, what is not helping. That is out of that kind of observation that I looked at the healthcare system around the world. And not only now, in ancient times, I came with conclusions. There are a lot of things that we could do and we are not doing. Either we are not aware of the risk, or we don't have the time for it, or we don't have the inclination for it, or we are so arrogantly stupid that we think we know everything. And that's why we can evaluate this kind of lifestyle all over. We are participants means we are encouraging it. We are doing that lifestyle that are harmful to you means that you are encouraging the lifestyle. You may be stupid, you may be not aware, you may be just don't have time. Whatever the reason, the consequences, mortality and morbidity are increasing. Or people are actually dying from stroke and heart attack and all, right? Still going on. Don't say we have conquered this. No, no, still going on. Okay. So remember that 500 million people globally, we see that they are working in conditions that place them in this danger zone. Okay. As you understand this, you will be able to see that how good it is, or how danger it is. Okay, uh, pay attention to these things that are happening right in front of your eyes. Okay, another study, what it said was money harms mental health. Can you believe that? So if you are occupied with money making, which most of the American is about, go after that and then spread it around the world too. Look at your president, the same, right? So 42% people were harmed by money, thinking money makes all the uh, good thing. But then that obsession, that lust for money is really a problem. And then many people have this medical debt impact related to the money, right? That triples anxiety and depression rates. Obvious, but that actual statistic. So financial worries severely compromise your focus and decision making capacity. 5 times more distraction. Okay. And also encourages absenteeism, 34% of absenteeism because of the economic stress, leading to increased workplace absence. They don't go to work. And also, overall, the company who don't have their employees coming in, they're absent for a lot. That is reduced productivity, right? That's also 42% of the people who gave money as the primary importance had psychological issues. And medical data impacts 3 times about anxiety and depression. And if you are distracted because of the financial worries, you have reduced focus and decision making capacity. And then your absenteeism, kind of 34% of the absenteeism shows you that you are decreased productivity. Anyway, these are common sense things. When you look at it, okay, but are you aware of it? Do you bring this awareness, insight into your life, influencing the people around you and yourself? That's the point. Okay, it's not about glorifying these numbers. No, it is about increasing the concern, care about how we can improve these numbers. Okay, so I want to show you the numbers because lots of times you don't want to be insight and wisdom. You want hard facts, right? Because as though everything you are saying is really, validated with good numbers. How many times you lie? How many times you don't lie? Look at that. Okay, so there is a new epidemic we identified in 1980s, and this epidemic numbers are growing. You know what is this epidemic? It's called worried well. You are well because you don't have any illness that are going into the hospital for, or you are taking medications, you keep them blood pressure under control, but you are a person who are worried about your blood pressure, worried about your things, and that's where blood pressure gives you. So this is a surprising phenomenon, worried well epidemic, because it has emerged in primary care settings. Patients who are objectively healthy, yet they are chronically anxious about their health. That's basically what it is. They have a condition, they're worried about it. So this reveals how external success fails to provide internal peace, right? 1 in 5 patients, primary care patients, they exhibit abnormal health anxiety despite normal physical exam. They come and they check out everything, but they're okay, but they're inwardly, they're worried about it. That's not necessary. That is not normal. They are extremely successful, high achievers with impressive credentials and accomplishments, but internally restless, persistent unease, and also hypervigilance about body sensations. They imagine things, they conjure up things, psychosomatic, So this pattern, 1 in 5 patients, they are successful but internally restless. This pattern, externally successful, internally restless, it illustrates a profound disconnection. Disconnection with what? Sense of ourselves. When we anchor our sense of security in external achievements, that is what we are focused on, anchored in, rather than inner stability. When you do this anchoring outward, not inward, no amount of success can quiet the anxiety. Okay, so you got to understand, how do I handle this inner thing? That is not done by your so-called system of psychological health therapists or your psychiatrists. Psychiatrists are good for the organic psychological, but then this kind of disorders of thought, disorders of mistaken identity, they are not solved by that. Okay, that's why you can go and talk to death with a therapist, but you are still not getting over your underlying anxiety or depression. There was a movement, I remember, in 80s. Many companies use this therapists, and then they sent the employees for them to get better. And they found at the end of the year, they were paying so much money for these therapeutic sessions, right? his session cost like 160 or something like that. At that time, that was the rate. I don't know now how it is. Because one of my friends is a psychiatrist. He's my neighbor, and he's also a Telugu, and also we became fast friends. And then we know each other. I'm an internal medicine practitioner, and he's a psychiatrist. So he used to practice it. So he used to tell me the companies are complaining because they are spending so much money on these therapeutic sessions. So there was a backlash nationwide. We are sending all these patients to you and you're talking them to death, but then at the end of it, we don't see any change. As a matter of fact, they got much worse. So then they said, okay, we're going to not call these units as psychological, psychiatric units. We'll call them behavioral med. We will focus on the medications to change the behavior and then say, so no more talking, no more analyzing, because analysis is paralysis. That's what they came up. Okay. So the pattern of external success and internal restlessness is a profound disconnection which is anchoring outwardly, not inward stability. You got to not what you're feeling and bad, that's not what you are focused in. You want to focus on the inward restfulness, stability. Okay, that is there in the ancient culture because they were based on awareness, not your thought. All your intellectual movement is based on thought. Okay, this is value for outward things, not inward things. You got to be aware of what is going on inward you. Don't analyze it, face it as it is. Suppose you are angry. If you are aware of your anger as it is happening, you will notice it goes down. It doesn't have sustenance if you are aware of it. But if you are thinking, oh, I shouldn't be angry, I should be, nothing happens. Okay. Try it out yourself. I'm not saying anything as an authority. I'm saying as an experience of that feeling. Okay. Now, what is the societal fallout of this? See, individual suffering. Okay. In this suffering is really aggregates into massive economic and social costs. That is the essence of it. Okay. See, the global burden of mental health condition related to work stress, materialism, financial pressures, there is a system in crisis. Okay. If you take the numbers, enormous. Last productivity is in maybe 800 billion and above. Healthcare burden is about 4 trillion or so around the world. Absenteeism is also 4 uh, billion or something. The numbers are extraordinary. So, billion work days lost annually around the world. Billion work days. So, depression, anxiety alone, they account for the staggering loss of human potential and economic output. Whereas 1 trillion annual productivity loss, global economy, the hemorrhages value due to mental health conditions, largely driven by lifestyle and work culture. That's why I have not only lifestyle medicine, but also I kind of advise corporate wellness a lot, right? And then people are really into that. So, but this was not the case all the time. Thousands of years ago, before modern psychology confirmed these patterns, there is contemplative traditions around the world, not just confined to only India, China, Egypt, and all. There are ancient cultures, but then there are so many cultures. Even if you take modern North America, the Red Indians who stay here, they were more connected to the earth and the spirit, right? So, uh, thousands of years ago, they had these tools that are going to describe to you. It's about how do you deal with that. So they are Sanskrit terms precisely describing our contemporary crisis. How they said Raga, when you crave, raga is craving. When you crave, you have an insatiable desire for more possession, status, achievement, pleasure, whatever. That raga is created in us that we don't address properly. Then, when that is denied for us, we have the dvesha, which is aversion. See, we are fearful of the loss or resistant to the loss or failure or inadequacy. These are human conditions, but why we kind of give them more value than what it is. And that leads to suffering, dukkha. You are craving for too much and you are developing aversion to the something too much. Both produce the dukkha, suffering. This is the inevitable psychological and physical pain that results because of the raga and dvesha. Okay? So, inner abundance alone, inner abundance, not outward abundance, inner abundance alone, like you are santosha, contented, you are peaceful because you discover your chattering mind is not the way to be peaceful, then it stops. Then you are peaceful. And you are happy naturally. People are joyful. Kids play around joyfully. Animals play around joyfully. Humans lose that they had in the childhood. Why? Because they have given a lot of importance to this chattering mind. Intellect, use it. It's a sharp knife, but don't let it cut you. That's what is happening now. So, inner abundance alone sustains peace. That is the experiential statement. Okay. So, external circumstances always fluctuate, but cultivated inner resources like a satisfaction, not going after too much thing, and being joyful in the moment, yeah, enjoying the nature, all these things are resources. They provide unshakable stability inward. Okay? Experiment with it. Don't trust me. Don't say, oh, whatever Dr. Rao says is wise. No. Go and investigate yourself and then find out. These are my experienced truths. I'm kind of, you know, sharing with you. Hopefully, that will really inspire you to go and find out the truth of those statements. And if they are, allow them to come to your life. Thereby, you suffer less. I will be going on. I will be my blissful, joyful self. And I'm happy that I was given this opportunity to know about it, grateful, and really happy that I'm a human being. I have the intelligence to turn inward and find out who I am. That's all fine. I don't have to really, I don't have to really report or get validation from anybody. You also don't need to. It is for your own inner validation. Okay? So that kind of thing happens. So, what is the path forward? Inward purpose that heals you. There is a compelling research for that. Say what you demonstrate, cultivating inner purpose and meaning, independent of external achievement, cultivating inner purpose and meaning produce profound health benefits. How? The evidence validates that contemplative tradition have taught for millennia. It was going on. 70% lower mortality when people have a sense of purpose. Say it reduces all case mortality risk. It is reduced by having this sense of purpose. They have fewer cardiovascular events. Inner meaning protects heart health quite significantly. We have done some studies with people who are having coronary artery blocks and took the two different groups. One group did the meditation and then calming their mind and to focus on the inner abundance. The other ones did not do. Significant difference. Okay. And then around 28%, it lowers the cognitive decline. Purpose. I'm just giving you statistics of the purpose. Mortality goes down, cardiovascular events go down, and cognitive decline, dementia, loss of memory, and all that. Brain function going lost and all that. So outer accumulation is restless and bottomless. Inner abundance is peaceful and infinite. Choose the path that heals you. That's the inner path for me. So the journey from external striving to internal cultivation requires courage and practice. Yet the rewards are many. They're measured in health, peace, and genuine well-being. They are immeasurable, really. So your path to inner abundance begins with awareness, deepens through practice, and flowers into lasting transformation within you. Only you will be the judge of that. Otherwise, you will not be able to do that, right? So think about that. This is I have all the numbers if somebody is interested to engage in that. But if you say, I won't get anything, what is the use of it? Then I have no comment. But if you are interested, I am game for that. Okay. So anybody has any comments or any doubts, any clarity? Cecilia, Daryl, Terry, and Daryl never comes up and tells me what is going on with my talks. Peter, anybody, you want to come up? I will stay here for a few minutes. And my wife brought some fruit for me, so I'll go and enjoy that. Hi, Peter. Oh my God, what happened? Kicked it out. Let's see. Try again, Peter. Maybe. I don't know why it does all the time.
Namaste, Dr. Rao.
Namaste, Peter. Second time charm, huh? This time.
Sure. How are you? If you hear children in the background, it's because I'm walking past the school. In fact, it's a school in New Jersey.
Okay.
It's another. Yeah, I'm visiting my daughter Thanksgiving holiday. Yeah, so what rang true to me is that 1 in 5 person who may be hyper focused on their symptoms. After my little cardiac event last week, or 3 weeks ago. I was like really listening to my body. Any little thing, any little different, sensation, and I just had to just take a chill pill, a virtual chill pill, and just say, hey, listen, man, you got to calm down. You got a clean bill of health for the most part, and none of the advanced scans or blood work, including the cardiologist follow-up, there's no concern for any of that. But I think it was just more than out of an abundance of caution. It was abundance of fear, I think. Yeah. Because it was such a scare for me. So that really resonated with me when you said that.
That's the point, Peter. What it is from being healthy inside, you don't have the external factors coming out, right?
Yeah.
So what it is external subjective or objective data, like a BP number or something like that, is making you feel fearful.
Yeah.
But what it is inner resilience. Why are you not having that? And then let the numbers influence you.
Yeah, well, I had to catch up with that. I have that today, of course.
No, what I'm saying is,
there were a couple of days where it was just not. I'm like, I just gotta calm down.
It's not a personal thing.
I'm not afraid of dying, so that's
that's
a big thing.
It's not a personal thing, Peter. It is about the human condition. See, what we are doing is, as human beings, we let our negative things influence us rather than our own inner resilience that is there.
Right.
You may get it, but how many people are getting it? That's the point. See, we want to bring the awareness of that so that, hey, you are stronger than what you think you are. See, it's not your mind that is strong, it is oscillates, but your inner being that is separate from your body and mind, that is the original you. You lost connection with that.
Right.
See, now realize when people realize who they are the healthiest because this activity of the mind is not there. This is the movement of the mind that is properly supposed to be used, is used for the negative way, causing us psychological stress. That is the fear, that's the uncertainty, that is the thinking like I'm not going to last. All these things come up. You know who described this psychosomatic illness very well for me? Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, that was written thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
That in that he addresses this psychosomatic phenomenon, not in the name, but actually your movement of the mind. Look at it as though comes and goes. But
Yeah.
we hold on to it and give the validation as that is our real truth.
Right.
See, for
And we
me,
can make it true if we hold on to it too long.
yeah.
We can make it manifest in our body.
That's what we are doing. We are identifying with the temporary thing rather than what is the permanent thing in front of us. For that, we have to have religious background. No, common sense. If you just see, thoughts are happening to me. I'm aware of them. Right? That means they are away from me. But we think thoughts are me, thoughts, this is the way I think, this is the way I feel, this is the way
That's the way it is.
yeah, that's the problem.
And it's not.
That's why I kind of run down the intellectuals quite often because they are giving something abstract. Okay? Use the thought rather than being used by it.
Rather than being used by it. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's perfectly said.
Yeah, the use is causing the fear. The thought is allowing this morbidity in people. That is a high cost. That's why I got these numbers. All these study numbers are there, but I want to present the inference, not the numbers itself.
Right, right.
So, and it's very practical what Peter is saying. That many patients come, they're happy and go lucky to begin with, but once they come and they find the numbers, and they go to a lot more worry, a lot more that worried well phenomena around the world, and the more culture, countries, and people focus on the external things, not on the internal. They focus on the fear of the internal. But what I'm bringing out is beyond the fear, you have the resilience as your natural ability. Stay there. Then you will use that inner resilience not to get to this problem, this worried well thing and all that. Okay. So anything else or anybody else? So if you want to come up and I want to impress on you how much we are paying in terms of our money, energy, and our well-being to this outward shift compared to inner shift. That's all the whole talk is about. The whole proactive wellness is about being aware of our condition and being aware of the solutions available and applying them. That is why it's not enough just you walk, just you all that. You understand the dynamics that are going on outward, inward, and then also don't be sold to a materialistic culture that is really getting you down in your wellness. Thank you, and let me know what do you think about this in the DMs. And Cecilia said she has not listened. So my talks have to come from the beginning. These are not just some short selling bits. It's a whole philosophical discussion rooted in the deep causes of our human condition. Okay, so if you are interested, if you are really serious, then you got to go and spend time to listen to the whole thing, and then participate, and then show me what you are. Just come and listen and go. It's up to you. You want to waste time like that, that's fine. Or you want to engage yourself in this discussion of existential matters that are serious, out of which our life will improve. Okay. I invite you. I cordially tell you, come and ask me questions, doubt my thing, go and experiment and live it. With your lived experience as the evidence, you will be living not to get some approval, but you are enjoying your life and also you can share that with other people. Okay? I don't have no interest of entertainment or gossip. I have interest in the existential issue that can improve the human condition as a whole and also individual human being to have a quality life, joyful life, long life. That's what I'm interested in. Okay. Thank you. And I'll see you again later. Bye bye.
With the kids, whether that's coloring, crafting, or reading, right? Especially we have kids around, that can really change everything up. And then, of course, we get to benefit from it too. And as always, respond, don't react, right? When you're faced with family dynamics or unexpected issues, pause and notice your feelings before you respond. Mindfulness helps you make a bit more of an intentional choice rather than reacting impulsively. I get it, not always easy too, but sometimes we say things that we wish we hadn't and can't take things back. So try to remember to press that pause button every now and again. Get up and remove yourself from a situation if you can and come back to it later. Right? Respond, don't react. All right, so with these mindfulness tips that I just shared in this first part of the talk, we're going to dive into now navigating the holiday food without guilt. And the reason why I brought up these tips first, because for those of you that are listening in and going like, what the heck does this have to do with navigating food and food intolerances? Well, you're going to hear now. It has a lot to do with it, right? The two of them are connected ever so much. And so now that you know these mindfulness practices and how to be more present or how to become more present as you go through these celebrations, it will help you navigate this wonderful deliciousness that's being served up this week and in the coming weeks without guilt. Because navigating holiday food without guilt is all about shifting your mindset tuning into your body and embracing the joy of the season. Right? So here are a couple of what I would say practical tips that you can try on, experiment with, to help you enjoy your holiday meals without the burden of guilt. If you're not hosting, tip number 1, don't hesitate to ask the host about the menu. Knowing what will be served can help ease food-related anxiety, especially for my folks with food intolerances and allergies. Or even if you're a bit more of a picky eater. And that will allow you to do 2 things. You can prepare yourself mentally for the meal, and you can ask to bring something to share, obviously, with everybody, but also making sure that way you have something for yourself. If not everything is according to your needs or wants. So plan ahead a little bit for peace of mind. And typically, nobody will be offended if you ask nicely, right? And especially if you're going to offer to bring something along the way. Now, taking your time during meals will also help you navigate this a little bit better, right? So we come back to eating mindfully and slowly. We left the phones in the bucket or in the basket as we came to the home, right? Now we're going to slow it down during the meal, and we're going to aim for at least 20 minutes to finish our plate. That's truly slow eating. 20 minutes at the very least. Ideally, you could take half an hour too, right? Think about that. When was the last time you took more than 5 minutes to gobble down your dinner? Start practicing slowing yourself down when you're eating, okay? And maybe it was my upbringing. I'm not sure. I think that's what it really is. It's not really a maybe. But I'm a very slow eater, right? From the first time my husband took me out on a date till today. I mean, today he doesn't say anything anymore. He's so used to it. I mean, I'm one of the slowest eaters ever. I truly take 20 minutes at the very least. And it's just habit that is instilled. That's who I am. That's how I grew up, right? Whereas my husband, who comes from a family with, there were 3 of them, 2 brothers and a sister, yeah, so 4 of them. The boys always fought for the food. It was after the war, right? After World War II, when they had to escape. So food was not always as abundantly available like in my home. So there's that. And so he gets through his meals a lot faster than I do. He's come a long way since we're together. I've taught him well, I want to say. But man, he can fly through his meal so much quicker than I am, whereas I'm one of the slowest eaters in our family ever. So consider that too. Pay attention. Maybe you time yourself the next time or the next meal you take today. How long does it take you to get through it without distractions? Without looking at your phone or reading a book or watching TV while you're eating, how long does it get you to get through it? If it's anything less than 10 minutes, you need to start slowing down and eating a bit more mindfully. Really chew thoroughly. Pause between the bites and savor the flavors. Because eating slowly helps you recognize when you are comfortably full and enhances your enjoyment of the food. Also, your digestive system will thank you tremendously, right? When we slow things down and we don't just gobble it down without chewing it properly. And then the digestive system has to break it down even more so. If you're heading out for your holiday meal this week or whenever, whether that's meeting people at a restaurant or in a private home, don't leave ravenous, right? You're hungry, you're starving, you can't wait to get there because you're so hungry. You want to have a small snack before you head out to your event. So consider having a small salad, a hard-boiled egg, some Greek yogurt with some fresh fruit in it, a cup of soup, anything that keeps you full a bit longer, right? Because when you arrive overly hungry, you lead yourself to overeating and an increase in anxiety. So a light snack before you leave your home helps you make more mindful choices at the table. Lots of different choices you can make here. You choose something that you know will hold you over, and that way you don't dive into appetizers or drinks right away, or whatever chips and pretzels and who knows what that is served up and standing around. You can keep your appetite for the